Hey everyone, welcome to episode 9 of the Podemic podcast with my nephew, Joey Barela. How you doing, bud?
I'm all right.
Doing good. How you like that whiskey?
Yeah, tastes good.
It's today's sponsor's whiskey again.
What is it, 10 cup?
Yeah, this is 10 cup. I don't think it's a special blend. I think they have a couple different ones. I think it's just a regular 10 cup one. I like it. I like that one. I like Buffalo Trace, and there was another one I had. The last one I had on one of the podcasts, it was pretty good. I don't remember what it was called, but I liked it.
I put water in mine just to water it down so I don't get too drunk.
Yeah, we don't need you to be too drunk.
There's at least like 2 or 3 shots in here. Probably a lot more than that.
Just sip it really slow. You'll be okay. So, you being the oldest of the millennial grandchildren, how's this year treating you?
This year?
Yeah.
This year feels like poop.
Straight up poop.
Yeah, especially with everything going on in the country and around the world, I guess.
Yeah. I think I saw something on Facebook that you said you know somebody that had it. And
yeah.
Are they okay? Did they?
No. Well, so it's Grandma's neighbor, Mike.
Oh, Mike.
He died like last week or 2 weeks ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
And at first, Grandma went next door to go see him to see if he's okay, because I guess he was scared he was dying or something. And she convinced him to go to the hospital, just in case.
Yeah.
Well, then, like, the following week, she told me that they told her he had COVID. I was like, oh, okay, that's great. And you went over there, and now we're interacting.
Oh,
yeah. But then, I guess after he died, like, the following week, they told, I think she said that he died from pneumonia, which COVID could lead to, but I guess he didn't have COVID. But I don't know, because it's his family telling Grandma all this, so who knows?
And we don't know who's saying what.
Yeah. So, but yeah, he died like last week. That's crazy.
Man, that's crazy. Sorry, Mike and family.
Yeah.
I hadn't seen him in years. It's crazy to know.
Yeah. So that house is unoccupied.
There's nobody there right now.
Well, like the kids are kind of like Mikey and Sarah. They're kind of
running around.
Yeah.
How's Grandma doing?
She's all right. She's stressing as always.
About this?
About David? No, not about this
David.
stuff. No. Yeah.
I heard that you got on him a little bit.
Me?
Yeah.
They told you that? Yeah. Well, I can't stand when just everything she says about him pretty much is negative, and every time he calls her, he leaves her nasty messages, and I'm like, you know what? Like, I'm a man. I should be able to like stand up for what I believe in, and if I think he's being a dick, then I'm gonna go let him know that, and that's what I did.
Yeah.
And I'm the type of person who needs I need to have a calm space. I need my stuff I need to be chill and stress free, and that was not chill or stress free. So I was like, you guys are like messing with my zen, man. Like I need to you need to leave. If you guys are gonna argue, go outside or something. Like I told both of them that.
Were they arguing pretty hard?
Well, I mean, I've heard harder arguments, but they were yelling.
Yeah. I feel the same way. It's like that's why I tell Mom, it's like I don't want to be around if that happens.
Yeah,
because I don't know how I'm gonna react. It's like you're my mom. Yeah, he's my uncle, but can't be acting like that to anybody. That's
exactly.
I don't care what's wrong with you.
Exactly. But then, like towards the end, though, like he thanked me for like listening to him, because like first I reacted with yelling and calling him an a-hole and telling him he doesn't need to be acting like that. But then once he started talking to me about what they were talking about, I just sat there and listened to him. I'm like, okay, yeah, that's, she's told me that, and I told her she should be acting like this, and you're right. And so when he left, he's like, thank you for letting me say what I had to say. Thank you.
Did you go downstairs and meditate afterwards?
No.
Gather that zen back up.
But I talked to Grandma afterwards, and I was like, I didn't really agree with him, even if I said, like, he's right. Like, I don't think he's right. I'm just saying that to get him to leave. Like,
yeah, you're just
trying to
pacifying him.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you need to go.
This is really good.
It makes you want to drink it, huh?
Yeah, just keep sipping.
It's kind of like a little bit refreshing. So speaking of that, I know you like wine a lot. What's your
whiskey or
whiskey, any kind of drink? Do you have a special?
Well, I prefer tequila. I'll take tequila shots all the time.
Just like your mom.
Well, at first I didn't like tequila. When I used to party all the time, I used to like vodka cran. But then just one night, my friend Irvin had to get together with a bunch of people and had a bunch of tequila and limes, and limes. And so we just kept taking shots of that. I think I took like 7 shots that night, and it was not a good thing.
Wow.
But yeah, but after that, I loved tequila, and I hate vodka now. So tequila is my drink of choice.
Yeah.
When I go to Game and Grog, it's like a video game bar here in town. It's a really fun place.
Are they still open?
No, they haven't closed down permanently, but they're closed because.
But they got people helping them, right? I think I saw
Kinda,
like
yeah.
Facebook or something like that.
Yeah, they have like a GoFundMe. I think a GoFundMe account that I try to share. But when I go over there, there's a drink that I like. I forgot what's in it, to be honest, but it's a tequila drink. It's really good. It's called the Silver Bullet. Yeah,
Never heard of it.
And I forgot what's in it, but it's a tequila. It just tastes like a sweet tequila drink. It's really good.
Sweet.
Yeah. And then as far as wines go, I like. Well, right now I'm drinking. God, what is it? I think it's a Cab. Yeah, Cabernet. Merlot usually is, or a Malbec. Those ones are, and something that's spicy.
I don't think I've had Malbec. I might have. I like Merlot because it's like thicker than Cabernet.
Yeah, it is.
I think it's a little sweeter.
Yeah, it is.
And then we mostly get Petite Syrah and I guess whatever's cheap. Man, wine can be expensive. It's so good.
I like the boxed wine. I know people say boxed wine's cheap, but there's this brand called, I think it's Box. That's the kind I usually get. It's like 2 or 3 wine bottles for the cost of one, and it's in a box. It's really good.
What's it called?
Box.
I think I've had that.
It's at Fred Meyer. It's like the first row of the wine section.
We got one of those boxes, and it would taste good at first, and then within like a week, it started tasting a little vinegary.
It doesn't last very long.
What's wrong with that one?
You got to drink it.
That was the only one. We've had a couple box ones, or a few box ones. Yeah. I think that was the only one that turned super fast. Have you ever drinking a spoiled?
Not that I know of. I might have. I just might not have known that it was bad.
We got some. We got some wine from this lady that Joanne's sister knows, and it was pretty old wine. They'd had it for like years, and we got like a few bottles of it. And I opened this one, and the cork kind of disintegrated. And I was like, all right, well, let me just try it, and we'll see. I smelt it. It didn't smell like anything that I can remember, and I got a pretty good sense of smell. And so I just took a swig, and oh my God, I was away from the sink, and it was so bad I didn't know what to do with it because I was like, I can't spit it out because I'm in my kitchen. I can't make it to the sink, so I had to swallow it. And I was like, oh man, I never wanted to throw up. So bad off drinking like wine, and I just poured that thing out. I was like, yeah, hopefully that never happens again. So
yeah, that sounds like a terrible experience.
Like you want to if you're in doubt, just take a slight sip. I figure you'd be able to smell it, but I don't remember it smelling like sour or anything. It's retarded. So what have you been up to?
That's a question. That's a good question. Right now, I'm trying to get my English teaching certificate so I can teach English overseas.
Like in India?
Well, in Europe.
In Europe?
Yeah. And then I'm constantly trying to work on my own like side gig. I've set up my website.
You can promote it. Feel free.
Well, it's not ready. Like I haven't launched it yet, so it's not like if people go and sign up for my email list, they're going to be disappointed because there's not going to be an email sent to them, and there's nothing to really join yet. But yeah, over the past year, I've been working on that. I made 3 digital products. I made a course, more than one course, a webinar. I wrote some ebooks.
Based on what?
Well, it's spiritually themed, but it's like self-improvement. So like my class, self-sabotage no more. It's about obviously not letting yourself stop yourself from succeeding at whatever you want to succeed at. There's also one about how not to procrastinate. My webinar is about finding purpose, but it's all spiritually themed. So it's got like, it uses vocabulary and terminology that spiritual people would use, I guess. So I've been working on that. That usually takes up most of my time when I'm not working. That, and then that's about it, really.
So what you're telling me is you're a cult leader, and you're looking for followers.
That's what my friends tell me.
How many followers do you have now?
I don't have many.
Do we have to call their family?
No.
So who's your inspiration as far as what you're studying? So
okay, well, so
the spiritual stuff.
It's kind of a mixture of people. I'm I wouldn't say I'm like strictly spiritual, but there's a lot of different areas that involve a certain sense of like supernatural elements that I like to believe in, I suppose, and that I want to try to figure out to help other people kind of use that knowledge to help themselves grow. So some people would be like Aleister Crowley. He's like an occultist. He, in the past, people had called him like the most evil man in the world because his area of expertise was magic. Like, and I'm not talking about like.
Wasn't he the satanic, the Church of Satan dude?
No, that's another guy. I think that's like Anthony LaVey. I think that's how you say it.
Crowley, that name sounds familiar. Bring him up, Malia.
Yeah.
Let me see what he looks
There
like.
was a show about his religion called I think it's called what was it called? Something Angel. It was like on TNT or something. I don't know.
Chris Angel.
No.
Dark
no,
Warlord.
no, but no, yeah. Crowley is an inspiration. Who else? Eckhart Tolle. He's like probably the modern day Buddha. Jay Shetty. I don't know if you've like seen his videos around. He's like an Indian kind of. I wouldn't say he's super spiritual, but he was a monk that had actually. He was a monk for like a year or 2 or 3. Then he decided to come back and like help people gain wisdom. I think his motto's like make wisdom go viral or something like that.
So are these like, because these names sound familiar, I just don't know who they are. Are they all modern day spiritualists?
Aleister Crowley's not. He died like I don't know, like 100 years ago or something like that. Oh yeah, a little while ago.
Yeah, that's why Emily's having an issue trying to find him.
I didn't know the name.
You could look up Thelema. That's his religion. I think it means like truth in Greek. Thelema.
So are you a believer in these religions, or are you just a believer in their concepts?
The concepts.
Okay.
I take from different beliefs and religions because I think all beliefs and religions are trying to point to the same truth.
Don't you have a tattoo like that on your lower back? I'm talking to you, Joey.
Oh, me? Oh, no. I'm all looking at
her.
No, I don't have any tattoos.
God, I forgot what I was gonna say.
If you go back to the Wikipedia article, it'll have him in there because he's the founder of that. He was like he came from a rich family. His family left him an inheritance, and he used that inheritance to go and travel all over the world to learn the different religions. He's also like, I think it's Oxford. He's Oxford educated, and he was a painter and a poet.
So how did you find this guy?
Well, when I started taking Adderall for my ADHD, for the first time.
Like Uncle Fester. That should say fucking Fester.
He kind of does, to be honest. Yeah, when I started taking the Adderall when I was diagnosed with ADHD, for the first time in my life, I felt like I was able to actually go inside myself and try to figure myself out. And then I started buying like journals because I wanted a journal. I just wanted to write down stuff, ideas, and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And when I started writing some stuff down, like it made me question, like the universe and my life, basically, like what's my purpose and all that stuff. So then I started like researching, like what is love and what is life and what is our purpose and what does it all mean and all that stuff.
So
and it led me to basically a series of Wikipedia articles led me to that one. And then,
so up to this point, what do you feel your purpose in life is?
Me?
Yeah.
To help bring spirituality into everyday life for people, anyway, to help people do that. And if I help people do that, then I'm essentially bringing spirituality into the world and making it, more abundant. Because I think that people lack spirituality, and I think that's a very big mistake. And I don't mean it could be God, it could be whatever you believe in. There's just this element of life that people are missing out on. And I think because of that, since there's so many people in society and in the world, if the majority of them aren't spiritual, then something bad will happen, in my opinion. And I think that's because when they stop, and this is actually a viewpoint that Carl Jung, I don't know if you know who that is. He's one of the founding fathers of psychology. He also believed that if people lack spirituality, if they lack a certain meaning in their life, then they'll look to the state or the government to provide that meaning and provide that faith. I guess they place their faith instead of in like a religion or spiritual things. They'll place their faith into the state. The state will essentially replace spiritual concepts. And then now it's up to now the state tells you what's right and wrong, and that's bad because like the state, if the state like Nazism, if the state says that something is bad, like with Nazism they said the Jews, they're bad, then the people are going to actually support that because they put their faith into the state, and now you've got a mass murder and mass genocide against humanity because
no, I think
because they believe in that.
I agree with that, but I think that also in that scenario, I think Hitler just had the ability to enforce his beliefs.
Well, that too, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I think if it was like here, if someone rose up and tried to, well, I guess you could. I'm not saying fucking Trump's Hitler.
That's what but
I'm saying a lot of people believe in what they perceive his roadmap is.
Yeah.
Even though I don't necessarily think. I don't think he's a bad guy. I think he makes dumb choices. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think he makes dumb choices on some things. I think he makes good choices on other things. I think, I'm not trying to get political. I'm not saying I vote for anybody because I don't. But I can see where people took like something that they saw in the news, and they were easily manipulated to think, okay, he believes white supremacy or whatever. Oh, he's my guy now, and I'm gonna trust in him to lead the way. And it's not the case.
Yeah.
But when looking at your spirituality stuff, what do you believe are the best? How do I put this word? How do I put this into words? What do you feel the traits that people should have to make this world better?
Yeah, that's a good question. I actually haven't thought about that before, to be honest. I mean, besides the usual, like the golden rule, treat others as you'd like to be treated. That that kind of falls into my core belief because my beliefs are weird, but I believe that. It sounds cliche, but I think that we're all one thing. Like I believe we're all one, right? Like we all have certain universal traits that we share with not just our fellow human beings, but with life in general, because we are life. We're essentially life that has intelligence. And so I think that if me as an entity of life treats you in a way that assumes that you're different than me as an entity of life, then there's going to be some kind of like, there could be mix-ups. There could be some, I could do bad to you. It enables me to do bad to you because now I see you as separate from me. Even though you are still life encapsulated in a body and in a mind, you're still the same as me. But if I'm not treating you like that, if I don't even see you that way, then it enables me to treat you as if you're not an entity of life. You're just a NPC or something. You know NPC is, right?
Yeah.
You play video games, yeah.
Most people that don't, it's a non-player character, so a character in a video game that's controlled by the computer.
Mm-hmm. And so if I'm able to see you as separate from me, then I'm essentially saying you're not that you deserve to be like treated as if you're crap, but like it just makes me feel better and enables me to treat you like crap when I think that's wrong. I think that nobody should be treated like crap. You should be treated as if I want to be treated because you are essentially me.
Do you think that a lot of people's personalities are based off of how they were raised?
I believe that the foundation of their... Well, so I've been reading some pretty deep books on this subject, actually. But what I used to believe was that, yes, I used to believe that our personality, basically who we are, we were shaped by what we experienced when we were young. And in some aspect of that, it's still true to me. Like I still kind of believe that. But the books I've been reading kind of make it seem as if it actually goes deeper than that. Like as a species, we can pass down certain behavioral patterns regardless of which family we're born into. And then the family experiences build on top of that. And then
you're talking about like through DNA?
Well, I mean, I guess you could think of it like that, yeah. I'm not really sure how it would work because, like, this is kind of like, how would you say it? It's like it's not really science yet. It's more like a, I guess, pseudoscience, if you want to call it that. But you can think of it like that. Like through our DNA, there's certain behavioral patterns that we inherit. In the books that I'm reading, it actually talks about how it's just because we're all human, so we all have to share certain qualities. Just like we all share like fingers on our hands, we have 5 fingers as human beings. We have 5 fingers. As human beings, we also have certain, I wouldn't say psychic organs, but that's what he calls it. It's more like just psychological behavioral patterns, and that we're born into, that we're born with. And then on top of that, we have our family experiences that kind of fill those behavioral patterns. But then beyond that, there comes a point where you kind of recognize that you're not a child anymore. You're not a child, yet you're still. Once you realize that you're a child, you can then start to see how, like, well, I have choices. I'm not going to let the past influence who I am now. I have up until this point, but now that I can see, like, hey, just because I was raised this way doesn't mean I have to continue being this way. Once you reach that point, then no longer does your past experiences shape your personality. In some way, they do, because if you had a bad past, I guess that recognizing that would make you want to switch over to the other side and be good. But I just think that once we hit it, I guess maturity. Once we hit maturity and become more mature, not physically but mentally, then we can have the power to basically shape ourselves into whoever we want to be. So I guess yes, to answer your question, yes, I think yes.
No, you're fine. No, I think about that a lot. Like, like you were saying, people base a lot of their beliefs off of the religion, in most cases. So churchgoers usually do good things because they're afraid to go to hell or whatever. I'm not sure what what's the term? People that don't believe in God. God.
Atheists.
Atheists. Yeah, I don't know. I think they just naturally just say, okay, I know what's good and I know what's bad, and I'll follow the law and blah blah blah. Mm-hmm. So I was just curious what your thoughts on that, since you've been so involved in all this spiritualism stuff. So do you meet a lot of people looking into this?
Do I meet or need? Did you say need?
So you're building your website. You're trying to help people. Do you go out and actively try to talk to people, or are you just
online? I do, not in real life.
Are you like posting on forums and stuff like that? Yeah.
I mean, it's just groups on Facebook.
Now, Pornhub comments don't count. So
no, just groups on Facebook. Because when I started going through this period of my life, I felt like alone. Like I couldn't relate to anybody, because nobody had gone. I assume nobody that I knew had gone through what I've gone through before, because like I hadn't seen anybody, growing up and into adulthood. I never seen anybody really like try to change their life, or like have a sudden change in personality. And so because that's what happened to me. And so then I just I started going online to look for those people, just find like-minded people.
Well, I think that I would disagree with you in a way to where you're looking at someone that changed their life in the same fashion as you did, in a spiritual fashion. So like, take your mom, for instance, was on welfare, had kids, switched her life around.
Yeah.
She may not be still in the best place, but she's better than she was back then.
That's for sure. You're right. Yeah.
So I think it's just you looking for a similarity. Do you feel like you don't have a lot of God, I can't. This whiskey's getting to me, right?
I know, it's getting to me too.
Do you feel
I'm already drinking most of it.
Do you feel like you don't have a lot in common with your family members? Close, distant?
When it comes to spirituality, yeah.
I mean, just in general.
In general?
Yeah.
No, I mean, well, that's kind of a hard question to answer, because like I do have a lot in common with them, obviously, because we're family. We have family in common, and we all have shared experiences together. But then, like, outside of the family, like, no. Because, like, I just don't feel like people are as my family are as interested in the things I like to pursue or study or read about or do. I don't feel like my family has that in common with me, and that's a big part of my life now.
Yeah.
But there's a few. Mia, she's spiritual, and that's about the only person I could think of that connects with me on that. And then as far as actually like hanging out with Juliana, just because I used to party and she likes to drink and
Yeah.
there's
Who are you
so.
closest to in the family?
Honestly, probably grandma. To be honest, yeah.
Besides grandma.
Besides
I
grandma.
think you're forced to because you live with her.
Well, not just that though. Like, cause we've had really interesting conversations. I wish I would have recorded some of them. Cause like, she, like, I don't know if, I don't know who knows what about grandma, but like I think she's a really deep thinker.
Yeah.
She just doesn't have like the opportunities to manifest that. But when we talk, that opportunity comes, and then we start talking. Sometimes we talk for like an hour, 2 hours. Sometimes. But besides grandma. I don't think anybody, to be honest. My dad, but that's not our family though.
Are you guys pretty close?
No,
No?
but I think that I can see a lot of myself in him.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's my dad, but like,
You guys
it's
have
surprising because he hasn't been there for a big part of my life. So it's like,
you guys have some same traits and mannerisms. I could see that.
yeah, that's what people say.
I haven't seen him for so long, but I did know him well enough growing up. We did some crazy shit together, and I can see that. Not the crazy stuff, just I can see you and him and you, and I'm like, sometimes it's kind of weird. It's like, wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And I'm sure people see my dad and me. I've had comments like that with family on my dad's side. It's like, oh man, you remember your dad? It's like,
Yeah,
I can see that.
People tell me that.
know.
Yeah. But I told Mia that you and Kicker are my favorite in the family because you're the only guys. So.
The only guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's you've kind of done your own thing and been on your path. I don't think you've needed me for anything. You grew up.
Well, not that I needed you, but like, I needed my father when I was growing up, and I didn't really know that at the time. But now, kind of going into this self growth stuff, I'm realizing like, man, I missed out on a lot of like wisdom that like fatherly wisdom that other people might have gotten in their life. And it kind of frustrates me because like if I would have known some of this stuff, like I would have avoided some issues in my life. But I mean, I can't blame them.
Yeah.
Like who taught them? Like.
Has your mom talked to you about your dad, like growing up, how he
The only
was and
thing
all that
I
stuff?
remember her telling me while growing up is, "You're gonna end up like your father if you keep doing that. Don't end up like your father. Your father's a loser." All this other stuff.
Damn it.
Nothing good about my father.
I think it would help if if she talked to you like an adult and expressed to you expressed to you maybe some of his bad tendencies and also his good tendencies, and that way you can understand what traits you might share. And
I don't think my mom even knows what his good traits are.
He's a good guy.
Oh, I think so. Yeah, I love my dad.
He's got a big heart.
Oh, he does. Yeah, I love my dad. Like
Sometimes it's too big.
Yeah. No, like as an adult now, I can see. Like I never really thought negatively, even though my mom told me all that stuff. Like the only thing I knew was I don't want to end up like him. Like, and not like in a personality way, but more like, I want to graduate high school. I want to go to college. I want to have my own place. I don't want to mess with women's hearts and like have multiple partners or whatever. And I don't want to abandon my kid. I don't want to I want to take on responsibility. All that stuff came from my mom because of what she, because of all the things she told me about my dad. But now I'm seeing like, not that I didn't at the time, but now I can appreciate who he is because like, I don't know, because I guess I'm older now and I can kind of see how it's relevant to my life, how he's super creative and he's still a child at heart, which is a good thing, I think, because you need to be a child at heart in order to grow. So I can see those traits now, but my mom never really, I don't think she could ever appreciate those traits about him.
Probably.
And plus, when they split up, like it was like when they were 16, they were teenagers. So.
Yeah, well, they saw each other, I think, for a few years after that.
Yeah.
I think they're on and off again.
Yeah.
But yeah, even now, if she could take the time to share with you some memories, or even himself. Ask him what things he thought he did wrong in life.
That's a good idea.
Hopefully he can explain it.
Yeah, I think he knows too.
Well, I try to share that with these guys so they don't end up doing stupid shit like I did.
Yeah.
They laugh at me and they're like, I can't believe you did some of that stuff. It's like, yeah, me neither, but I did, and now you don't have to. We're where we're at now because I went through that, and you don't have to.
Yeah, and that's what I wish I had in my life. Somebody like, especially a father, just because I'm a guy, to tell me that stuff. Because certain things I don't think a mom could really relate to you on, or you can relate to them on because they're just simply because they're female.
Yeah, I think they give you having just a mom in your life mostly. I think gives you a different view on life and how you handle things. I think it's given me, I think out of anything, it's given me patience dealing with certain things. Just because I get frustrated, not at women, just at certain things that if, let's say I was in the typical family and had the dad, I'd probably not be patient with.
Yeah.
So I think it helps, but yeah, I see your side of things on where you think where having a dad would have benefited, and I think that's true.
Yeah,
no doubt.
Yeah,
I hope you get to talk to him and ask him those questions.
Oh, I'm sure I will. Now that you've raised that, yeah, because I still keep in contact with him. Well, he's crazy. He got diagnosed with some stuff, and the last time I hung out with him was like last month. He wanted me to move in. He wanted to try to get an apartment with me. Which at the time I thought excuse me. I would like to get.
I get the burps too.
I'd like to get out of this situation I'm in now and kind of have my own place again, but I don't know. I just feel like he's all right. He's all right. He's got his own place, but he wants to get out of there because of some issues he's having with ex-girlfriends, of course.
Is he in Yakima still?
Yeah. Yeah, you know where Felicia used to live? Those apartments, kind of like
by the fairgrounds.
Yeah, he's living in those apartments.
Yeah, those were. Yeah,
yeah.
A lot of bad things happen in those apartments.
But I mean, as far as I know, he's off drugs. He still drinks, but not like to the extent that he used to, from what I've heard anyway. From what I've heard, how he used to drink, because I heard he was an alcoholic. But even that concept kind of makes me wonder, because I thought I was an alcoholic because I got drunk every night, but I wasn't drinking my problems away. I was out just having fun.
Well, I guess the definition of alcoholic is that you need to have a drink every day.
Yeah. And I don't know if he really does.
I'm not a doctor, so don't get mad at me. That's what I've heard. It's like, do you need to have a drink every day? Nah, I don't. Do you rely on it to get your day going? I hope not.
Yeah, I don't think my dad's like that. He might have been in the past, but now like when we hung out at his place last time, we had a few beers and we just played darts. We just hung out, just played some darts, played some dice game, and had 2 beers, and it wasn't enough to get us drunk,
I'll tell you a story about your dad that when I used to hang with him. I didn't hang with him very often, but this one time, I don't know how old I was. I know it was more than 20 years ago. We went up to the little Outlook area above Fred Meyer's.
Mm-hmm.
I think before Fred Meyer's was there. I don't even know what was there.
Was it the one that you had to get to from Sela?
Yeah, you had to go. Yeah. And he had his El Camino. We drove up there, and we were drinking. We were just talking. We were just hanging out, bullshitting. He's like, all right, let's take you home. This is maybe 1 a.m. And we were driving. We go by Davis on 5th. And this all allegedly happened, by the way.
Supposedly.
Yeah, we all went by driving on 5th Ave towards Grandma's house. So we were going towards Nob Hill. And he's in his beefy El Camino. And
he still has that, too.
Yeah, this car pulls up next to us, starts revving their engine. And he's like, oh, you want to race? He's like, let's race it, Mike. I'm like, all right. So they take off, man. We're going hella fast. Zoom past Davis. Zoom past those street lights by the bank.
Mm-hmm.
Keep going up 5th towards the stop sign. Mm-hmm. Well, that guy loses control.
The other guy?
Yeah. Loses control, slams into a house, flips his car.
Holy crap.
Because it's right by a stop sign. He tried to stop. Something, I don't know. He lost control. He ran into this porch.
And he's the one that started it too, right?
Yeah. So we're stopped there in front of this house. Cars flipped over. Smoke everywhere. And we're like, did that guy die?
Yeah.
And we're just sitting there waiting. And your dad's like, we gotta go. And I was like, we gotta see if he's okay. And
Yeah,
then we
right.
see the guy jump out. So he got out. He was fine. Your dad fucking floored it. We took off.
Yeah, it sounds like him.
It was one of the craziest things I've seen, because I thought for sure that guy died, because he took a porch out,
Dang.
like you know those porches that go around the house with that people could sit like furniture on and
Yeah.
sit. He took like all of that out. It was like
Dang.
crazy. I was like, wow. So yeah, your dad, he was a fun guy.
Yeah. That's one thing I've known since childhood, basically, was that my dad was fun. He was the fun.
Don't do that. By the way,
Yeah.
don't drag race if you ever get drive with El Camino. I think it was pretty fast too. Yeah, it's a good time. So
I'm glad we can drink here because I'm feeling pretty good.
you like it?
Oh,
I think it eases
It does.
the nervousness, the little let you free flow,
Mhm.
whatever your thoughts are.
Mhm.
I'm trying to think of something to talk about now, because now you got me thrown off by the whiskey. What how long have you not lived with your mom?
Not live with my mom
Yeah,
since I was 18.
let me get a little bit more of this.
Well, I guess technically since I was 18.
Do you get along with your mom, you think?
Now I do, yeah.
I think back then, I think you guys are just both headstrong.
Back then, I tolerated her. I tolerated her. There was a point where I didn't like her at all, but that was when I first started taking Adderall, and I was blaming her for all my childhood problems, or my
Oh.
problems now.
Yeah, I can't remember that time. Have you gotten past that?
Yeah, I can't blame her for any of that.
Yeah. I think your mom loved you guys and
Oh yeah, she did.
done what she could.
Yeah.
She may have not done the best, but she's done what she could.
Yeah, and that's what I realized. Like she was young. She's a young
Yeah.
woman raising 3 kids.
Yeah, and she stayed young for a little bit too long.
Yeah.
Sister.
Well, that's both of my parents. That's one thing. My mom would like say my dad's immature and all this stuff, but then like, she was kind of the same. Like,
Yeah, she's made immature decisions. And I
Yeah.
think we all have throughout life.
but like I said, I can't blame them because like, it goes down the line. Like your parents only love you and teach you, not necessarily. I mean, not that they're actually physically teaching you, but like they're only passing down what they know from their parents, and they're passing down what they know from their parents. So if somebody's raising you a certain way, it's because they were raised that way, and it's because their parents were raised that way, and their parents. So it just kind of goes down the line.
Kind of. Hold on, I've got an itch here. I think that's true to a point where I think it's still on that person. Once they have kids, they need to do their best
Oh yeah,
to make sure that not only do they know what to do, but they can prepare the kids for whatever they can.
mm-hmm.
Or if they don't know, they admit to it. Like
Yeah.
I've admitted
Yeah.
to the girls, I don't know how to be a father to girls.
Yeah.
You guys
You're girls.
you have feelings and shit that I can't relate to, but I'll do my best. If I can't, go to your mom, hopefully, and hopefully she knows, or go to Joanne and hopefully she knows.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as like a father, it's like I have to deal with stuff that I'm not prepared for,
Yeah.
but I do my best, and
Yeah.
if I can, I'll research like what the fuck do I do
Yeah.
when this happens to
I feel like that's the
Yeah,
type
the
of dad I'm gonna be. That's exactly how I'm gonna be.
And so I hope so, man. Do you want kids?
Do I want kids? I like the idea of having kids. I just know that right now I can't.
Yeah.
Like
do you ever see yourself being married and settled down and?
Of course, yeah. I want that. Like I want to have that, but I'm also okay if I don't, because I know like it just depends on how prepared I am, and if I'm not prepared, then I'm not going to be okay until I am prepared. So like there's 2 modes of my life. The first mode is getting prepared. And not that you can ever be prepared for childhood, but like when I say prepared, I mean like financially stable and independent, and like I've got my life in order, and then I can have kids. But until that point, like I can't. Like if I do, then I'm.
It's not responsible.
Well, not only that, because like accidents can happen. Not that anybody's an accident, but like life happens. And
Malia's an accident. Sorry, Malia.
and like if but like it's just Yeah, it's just
I get it.
I just want to be the best dad I can be.
That's good.
Actually, I want to be the best man I can be, to be honest. But
I like that. I like that you want to be the best dad you could be, because that shows that you probably will be, if that's your mindset. And if that ever happens, I think going into it, it's going to make you better. But you're studying to get your English degree to study or to teach.
So
that means you're going to be leaving, and you're probably going to.
Well, right. Well,
you're gonna have a Russian wife.
No, no. Right. Well, right now it's. I want to. When I went to Europe, last was it? No, not last year.
It's like 2 years.
2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago. I loved it. You know, I want to live in Europe. It's beautiful. When I went to Poland, it was the most beautiful food I've ever had, and the women look exquisite.
Really?
And there's something like about women with accents that just turn me on, man. Like, I think it's great. I don't think I could ever be mad at a woman when she's talking in a sexy accent. I think, like, just...
What's the sexiest accent in your opinion?
French.
You think so? I don't really like French.
I like French accent.
Accents.
Mexican accent sounds hot, but, like, there's just... It's kind of like an everyday thing. It's kind of like English, especially since we live here. Like, you know, like, there's a lot of people with Mexican accents, Spanish accents, that kind of just I'm desensitized to it. But yeah, French accent, the Polish one sounds all right. The English accent, like the typical English European accent, that's kind of boring to me. Yeah.
What about German? It's kind of harsh on the ears, huh?
When I asked people,
sorry if you're German.
When I asked people for directions when I got lost on the trains in Germany, I thought they were beautiful. I thought the accent sounded
really?
all right. Yeah. But
I
suppose if like somebody were actually having a conversation with me, then probably would sound kind
Malia,
of
look on the web and see what the sexiest accent is.
Yeah.
It's just like, see what people rate.
I'm curious.
I bet it's going to be French. I think you're right. I don't mind it. It's just...
Russian. Russian's all right. Dang, you typed
Kiwi.
fast.
Did I say Kiwi?
Yeah, that's New Zealand. Oh yeah, Australian accent. Yeah, Australian. Yeah, you know what? Because I had my phone set like Siri, I had her set to Australian because I thought it sounded hot.
The 50th. What was the 50th? Croatian. I think that sounds probably like German, or not German, Russian. Yeah. New York. Got that Cardi B accent. That's Brooklyn, or the Bronx, or whatever she's from.
Oh wow, French is seventh.
So
Watch it be American.
I think it was Kiwi. You clicked on the first one, right?
South African. Oh yeah.
Kiwi. Wait, go back down. Play the Kiwi one. Oh wait, no, it doesn't play it. Just says find out. Can you find a Kiwi accent? I want to hear that. For some reason, I'm thinking of like a Samoan sounding.
No, it would sound close to Australian.
Oh, because Kiwis are like New Zealand, right?
Yeah, they're like right off the coast.
Yeah, click on it. Man, my ears itch for some
Apparently
reason.
they have sex with sheep.
Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel.
That's what the Australians would tell you.
Something fun that wasn't
you got that.
makeup related or
That's fine. You got that on. You got the TV sound on.
So I thought I would do
That's not bad.
the accent challenge. So if you don't know me, my name is Chanel and I'm from New Zealand. And I've been told...
I don't know if it's sexy, but it sounds all right.
Sounds pretty similar to Australian. Can't really tell difference.
I played with this Australian guy on one of the games I play, and he kept calling us a cunt. And I was like, are you from Australia? He's like, yeah. I was like, why do you keep calling us cunt? He said it's just their way of saying like dude or bro. I'm like,
I spoke to some Australians too, and that's pretty much what they said. They told us we're too soft.
I believe it.
And it's not like when they say those swear words, they're not like being mean. That's just like how they talk, I guess.
So that brings up a topic. What do you feel about the cancel culture we're in now, where everybody wants to cancel anybody that's done anything?
I think it's stupid.
Oh man, thank you.
I think that it just has like the broader implications of that is it's gonna lead to like not a good thing.
Well, I think it makes us look super weak.
Well,
right?
that too.
We get offended over shit that was funny 5 years ago. It's like, that was funny 5 years ago. Still funny, if you take it as, on some. I'm talking about it as far as comedy right now. Is people get mad at.
Well, it's the worst thing that could happen too.
Yeah.
Is if the comedians, and I'm kind of paraphrasing what Jordan Peterson has said, and I'm sure a lot of people don't like Jordan Peterson because of his political views, but as a psychology professor, he's right on point. But he says that once you start attacking the comedians, because the comedians actually are like humor in comedians, what they're telling you is basically what everybody wants to say, but doesn't have the balls to say.
Yeah.
But it's usually closer to the truth than people realize. And if you're starting to like attack and censor comedians, you're essentially attacking and censoring a big part of truth. And if you start doing that, then there goes your freedom of speech. And if you lose your freedom of speech, then you're going to lose your freedom of to write whatever you want. And if you lose both of those things, then you're essentially censoring what you can think. And now as a society, you're controlling what you can think, which is that's a bad thing. You're going to start, once you start doing that, then you're going to start telling people what to think. And if you think a certain way, you have thought police that will essentially put you to jail for believing a certain way, which is all going to lead to like totalitarianism and authoritarianism, just like the Nazis. So
yeah, we don't want that shit.
No, man.
Yeah,
but that's what happens with the cancel culture. Like people are saying, they're speaking truths, and you can already start to see it. People who are presenting their opinions, number one, it's everybody is entitled to an opinion. If you're going to get fired over an opinion, that's stupid.
Yeah.
If you're asserting your opinion as a truth, then maybe I can see, and you're starting to impose your truth on people. But if you're just stating your opinion and you get fired for that, that's wrong. But anyway, you have people who are doing that and who are saying certain things, even if it's scientifically proven. For instance, the feminists. Like feminists will tell you that people are misogynistic because they're stating actual facts that data supports and statistics support. They're stating these things that yes, there is a difference between men and women, and you have statistics and psychological and scientific data to prove it. Yet, if we say these things, you're going to get ousted. You're going to get fired for using science to back up your opinion. You're going to get fired from that. That's totally wrong. Those feminists, certain ones that do get pissed at that, they're using their feelings instead of logic to actually, make something happen, which is bad. If you start doing that, you start getting rid of logic, then you're making way for, impulsive decisions to make certain things wrong and illegal.
So where do you think this all started? Because this wasn't an issue with me growing up of...
The internet, for sure.
You think it's the amount of communication people now have at their fingertips?
I think that's one part of the problem. Another part is... probably a lot of fathers aren't around, so you don't have the balance of a feminine influence that's usually more agreeable and more based on like feeling than a masculine influence that's more based on logic and coldness, I guess, which is necessary. You need to balance the two out. So people are more likely to be hurt by what somebody says, even if it's backed by science. And then because they're hurt, they think that's a valid reason to put a stop to things, which isn't true. You shouldn't put a stop to things just because you're offended and hurt by something, especially if it's backed by science. You should use your own science to support your feeling, I guess, your hypothesis as to why what they're saying is wrong. And then
I think they just need to admit, this is my feeling, this is my opinion on that feeling, and then move along from there. You've said what you had to say. Don't get 1,000 people together to cancel somebody just because you don't like what they did.
Yes.
That's their freedom of speech. You've done yours. Move on.
Yes.
What upset me was that they were trying to do something to, I think they were like, I don't know all the facts on this, but I remember something about when Robert Downey Jr. did the blackface
in Tropic Thunder.
Yeah, I was gonna say Days of Thunder. I was like, no, that's Tom Cruise. Yeah, Tropic Thunder, and like people were complaining about that. It's like, it's a movie.
Yeah.
It was a funny movie. It wasn't the funniest movie, but it was a funny movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's a white guy doing blackface. But yeah, we all knew going into it what that was.
Mm-hmm.
Don't hate on it. Just express your opinion, move on.
Yeah.
I think it's I don't know what's going on these days with.
You don't want to tell him not to ever be an actor again just because of that.
Yeah.
Because he's a talented actor.
Yeah, or he's a racist.
Yeah, because
like,
clearly, and he's not a
like,
racist. Like, yeah.
It's like no. Just I don't.
I think there needs to be. I think a big part of this too is the intent. Like,
Yeah.
you could say that putting on blackface is racist, but there's a reason behind it, and it's because I don't know the reason, but I'm sure there's a reason behind it. And I'm sure the reason behind blackface being offensive is because of the intent that was put behind the blackface.
Yeah, back in the day, back
in those days,
whatever 30s, when they were making movies and they didn't want to cast black people, so they put white people in blackface.
Yeah,
that intent was bad.
And now, or with him anyway, with Robert Downey Jr., it wasn't to I guess criticize or
it was a role of him being a white guy playing a black
guy. Yeah, which is funny. It's not racist.
Yeah,
but people will tell you that because just for the fact that it is blackface, it doesn't matter who put it on or for what reason, that it's racist. And I don't think that's true. I think that, like we just said, the intent is what makes it racist.
Have you had any issues in Yakima with race? Have you had anything?
Me, when I was younger, I had. When I was in 6th grade, I was walking along the track at Wilson, and it was during PE for whatever class they were, and some of them came around and started saying, there's a beaner, let's get him, and they started whacking me with a stick.
What?
Yeah, and I went to go tell Mr. Turner.
Were they looking for candy?
I don't know what they were doing. I have no idea what they were doing. They were just whipping me because I was Mexican. I don't think they knew I spoke English or anything, and I went to go tell Mr. Turner, who I thought would actually take my side because he was a black guy. He just kind of dismissed it, like, oh, they're just playing around, blah, blah, blah. I was like, what?
Yeah, he didn't want to deal with it, that's why.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Punk.
But yeah, no, yeah, that's the only. And then one time when I was at Home Depot, I had grown my beard out and I had my hair kind of dry. It wasn't like this, but it was still long. It was like the first customer of the day. It was like 6 o'clock in the morning, and somebody comes up and he looks at me. He's like, oh, Muhammad. I was like, I don't know what to say. I'm like, the first thing that ran into my mind was like, well, I'm not like that. I'm not a Muslim. The second thing was like, that's really racist anyway. Like, even if I'm not a Muslim, like to think I am just because the way I look. Did he laugh?
Because maybe he was joking.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. He did. But still, it's still kind of like, it's still a racist if you're joking. Like,
it's pretty racist. It's funny though.
Well, also too, I think certain Hispanics could be racist, especially if they look at me and think I speak Spanish.
Yeah.
I'm telling them like I don't speak Spanish, and they get mad. Why not? Like you look like it.
I get that too.
I tell them I'm American. They're like, oh, I thought you were Hispanic. I didn't know you were Indian. I'm like, yeah, I'm American. Yeah.
Not Native American. I was born in the United States.
Yeah. But yeah, that's about it.
I get that too. Not as much anymore. I think the older I get, the whiter I look. But when I was younger, people would think I'd work in the store, and they'd come up to me and start speaking Spanish, and I'm like, I don't speak Spanish. I'm sorry. And then they'd be like, walk off. I'm like, well,
yeah, they get mad. It's like I can call someone for you if you want.
Yeah,
it's not a big deal, dude. I don't speak Spanish. So.
I wish I did. Yeah, I wish I did. Do you ever wish you did? Have you tried? Have you tried to learn it?
Yeah, I took like a class at YVC, and I've got Duolingo on my phone, but I'm not interested in Spanish. I just don't. Like, I know it will be an advantage to me, but I would rather learn something more exotic for whatever reason. I don't know. I feel like Spanish is like English. Like, it's just kind of boring.
Do you know any other language other than English?
No.
Which language do you want to learn?
Right now, I need to learn Polish if I'm going to move to Europe. Like,
is that where you're wanting to go? Is Europe?
Yeah.
Or not Europe, Poland?
Yeah, just because like I'm most familiar with it, and the money issue there is really great if you can bring in American money. Like, my plan is to work online or generate money online in American money, because money over there, you're like $1 is worth like 3 or 4 times as much as it is here. So I can survive there for like $500 a month, versus $500 a month here is not going to give me even rent for anything, So
you should learn how to code, like some of the older codes.
Yeah,
because those get paid.
Oh yeah,
money.
That's actually the highest paying jobs in Poland, because Poland's like they're starting to become like Europe's version of Silicon Valley. So but I don't know if I want to invest that much time in code.
Oh.
I mean, I know I should. Eventually I want to, but
I think you got the brains for it. I think
I
it's the
don't doubt
interest.
myself.
Yeah. Well, I think it's the interest. I think most of us in our family, and probably everybody, if you're not interested, you're not gonna learn it. So if you're not interested, you're probably gonna learn it.
And the only way I'd be interested in coding is if I needed to use it for some reason. Yeah. And I know one reason would be to build a website the right way, because the way I built it now was just on WordPress. You get a template and then you can add plugins to give it.
WordPress is pretty good. We use that at work.
Yeah, that's what I use. Yeah. That's what I've.
But I know what you're saying, to get deeper.
But if I want to modify a WordPress theme itself,
learn JavaScript.
Yeah.
And, CSS. And Python or Python. Is it Python? Not what I'm thinking of. Sorry, Randy, if you're watching this. I know you're disappointed.
I think Python's more for apps.
Huh?
I think Python's more for apps.
Well, you can use Python in web. It's just tricky. It's I know ArcGIS uses it, but I was thinking of.
Using a Ruby?
No, God, I can't think. Put this down because I can't remember what it was. Sorry. What other interests do you have other than spiritualism, teaching, spreading the word of your cult, and gaining followers? Are you still doing painting?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just did a painting a couple days ago. I'm not happy with it because when I paint, it's not that I try to paint anything. I try to bring something out. So the way I paint is I'll just put stuff on the canvas and just kind of put some music in, engage in some substances that influence me, and then and then I will let myself go on the canvas and just do what I feel, at the time. But then there comes a point in the middle of that process where I start to see something in the painting, and then I try to bring it out. And the last time I couldn't see anything. It just looks like a bunch of crap, which to some people would look good, but for me as an artist, my intent was to bring something I could recognize, and nothing happened. So
nothing happened.
But yeah, art. I'm interested in art. I forgot what I was gonna say too. What else I was interested in, but I like video games. I guess not super good.
What video games are you playing?
I'm a big Nintendo fan, so I'm Animal Crossing, Pokemon, still at 31 years old. It's a good game. Smash Bros. The Legend of Zelda is my favorite.
Yeah, Joanne's playing that.
For the Switch?
Yeah, she's...
Is it the Breath of the Wild, or is it the other one? The other one's it's like an old, it reminds you of the Super Nintendo.
I think it's Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
She's beating... God, what did she call them?
Lionels? Oh, yeah. She's playing Breath of the Wild.
She's been beating them.
Yeah, that's
beat one last night that kept killing her. She was like, I finally got it, Michael. I'm like, good.
Those things are vicious, the Lionels. Yeah, I love that game. It's a beautiful game.
Yeah, I've heard it's one of the best games made.
Yeah, it is.
I actually bought... It's funny because I bought her the Switch. I bought her the Pokemon game. Yeah. And the Super Mario Kart one.
Oh yeah.
And then I got the Zelda one for me, so when I'm not playing Call of Duty, or I could play that.
Yeah.
Well, I never got to playing it. I was like, here, why don't you play it? And so she started playing it. Man, she's been addicted for 3 months.
when I was dating Tamisha, she loved it, and my friend Cody, when he got the Switch, his girlfriend at the time loved it. Girls like that game. It's a good game.
How's Animal Crossing?
Animal Crossing's really... You have to have, I don't know, you just have to be a certain type of person, I guess. For me, I've been a fan of Animal Crossing since I was young. So for me, it was kind of like a nostalgia thing. But also, it's just really relaxing.
Oh, I thought it was a new game. I didn't know it's been around for a while.
It's been since the GameCube days, 2001, 2002.
This isn't the one where you grow animals, right?
No, there's not really a point to the game. It's kind of like a really simple version of Sims. You can go and raise crops. You go and just collect items and sell it for money, and it's just a really, it's like a pointless game, but it's really relaxing.
Do you get to play with other people?
You can, yeah. You can visit their island and trade that, because certain islands have certain type of fruit that's native to their island, and you can collect their fruits and sell it in your island for way more. And yeah, it's just a really relaxing game, I would say.
Just something to kind of let your mind float free while you're playing, just enjoy.
Yeah, so it's like a collecting game. You can collect a bunch of fish, you can collect a bunch of bugs, you fill up your little museum, and it's just kind of a way to pass the time.
That's cool. Yeah. That's cool. Do you still have an Xbox or
No, I don't have Xbox
got
or
rid of
PS4.
it?
I want to get a PS5.
you can? I was gonna ask
Oh,
you,
it looks
get one of the new
beautiful.
ones.
Yeah.
Like the, I don't.
I used to
I'm
be
gonna go with the Xbox.
I used to be a big Xbox fan because of Halo. I loved the Halo series. But then like Halo 4 was all right. Halo 5 came out and it just started to seem like every other shooting game, like Call of Duty and all these other games that it's just the soul was taken out of it because the original developers, Bungie, they started making Destiny, and then then that's when Destiny was my game on Xbox. But you can play a Destiny on PS4.
Yeah, you can play it on all of them.
Pretty much both of those systems, you can get all the games except for their like very few exclusive games. And for the Xbox, I never really got into any other exclusive except for Halo. And then once Halo 5 came out, I kind of lost it. And was like,
I think PlayStation definitely has some better games, but I just don't like the controller. I just never have.
I thought I wouldn't either. And then I bought one, and then I started playing it, and I actually like it better just because my hands are smaller. So
Really?
Yeah, my hands are hella
Because
small.
I had a PS2 and a PS1.
The stick down here, like, I thought I
yeah.
wouldn't get used to it, but I did.
Yeah, and it was, and then going to the Xbox, it just felt more natural. And then trying to play PlayStation, it was just like, this is not right.
Yeah, I was a big Xbox fan until 2 years ago, and then I bought a PS4 because I played one at my friend's house, and like they just let me like turn it on and like basically like discover it, and I loved it because it's really, I'm a big artistic person, and like it flows well. The menu music is just really relaxing. Like I feel like they put a lot of art and like its aesthetic feel to it and beauty into the actual software, like just the operating system, I guess. Like as far as whereas Xbox, it's more like mechanical
It's
and like
fucking clunky.
like,
It's
yeah,
clunky.
well, and so that's, and not that I like am like a diehard one or the other. I'm a Nintendo guy, but like now I would prefer not Xbox. I prefer PS4 just because of the feel of it. But essentially, they're both the same to me. Like,
Yeah.
if they would bring Halo to PS4, that'd be awesome.
They may. Well, no, because it's owned directly by Microsoft, right?
Yeah.
So it'll never go on PS4.
Microsoft Studios, yeah. There is what is it called? The Google Stadia. I think that's what it is. Have you heard of that?
I've heard of it. I haven't seen it.
It's basically where you can play your video game it's like cross console. Some of them are, but you can play it on like a computer. You can play it on like your tablet. It's like a Google Home, and it streams the game from Google servers to
Have you played
like your
one?
device. No, I just seen like
You've seen the
videos.
advertisements before. I've seen the advertisement before too. It's supposed to be lag free.
Yeah,
All
supposedly.
this stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, how do they do that? But I haven't seen any gameplay from it.
Yeah, me neither.
So I don't know if it's maybe just vaporware or hopefully they come out with something like that. That'd be cool.
It would be cool. But the game that I'm looking forward to is oh god, what's it called? It's like the futuristic game.
Oh, the Cyberpunk?
Yeah, that's the one I want to, because I think it's made by Rockstar, or no? Is it Rockstar or?
Mm-hmm.
No, it's the guys from Skyrim and what is it called? Bethesda. I think it's a Bethesda game.
Is it a Bethesda game?
I thought it was. I'm not really sure, to be honest. But
You can look that up, Leah. The developer of Cyberpunk
so like
2055,
Yeah,
I
I think
think.
that's
Something like that. Yeah, I've been waiting for that game. I think they delayed it again, though.
yeah, I'm sure they did.
It just says CD Project.
Huh?
CD Projekt. I can see that. I think that's a development studio. I think they're under Activision, maybe. That's my guess. You can put it up here. See if they have any gameplay.
Oh yeah, huh?
Oh, 2077.
Oh, I thought they were from a bigger. Huh. Oh wow, it's based in Warsaw. It's a beautiful city.
Go to videos. I just want to see if they have a video. Anything recent? 2 weeks ago? Do that first one.
So the trailer contains footage from the game's prologue only, but
A little bit, yeah, that's fine.
there was an awful lot in it. So
You can
Howell,
also use
why
the,
don't you try and
remote.
help us unpack?
I thought I brought my water in here.
Everything that we just saw.
Oh yeah, I mean, absolutely, I can try. So, what you have just seen is only completely unique districts surrounded by the seventh one that we call the Badlands.
wow.
As a player, you are meeting Jackie. Jackie's your friend. Now,
I wonder why they delayed it.
together
It looks
are
really good.
trying to reach
Probably
out
because
for
of COVID.
something that is very precious. They were trying to reach out for this chip of immortality, this gateway to eternal
I've been waiting
life.
for this game too when I
Jackie
first heard about it,
introduces
like
you to
2 years ago.
Fixer.
It's like a big open world game, right?
Yeah,
But like futuristic.
Yeah, like Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah,
but,
that's why I thought it was Rockstar.
but better. I think it's supposed to
Yeah.
be better than that. You can turn that off and leave. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
Not that I could think of. I mean,
Yeah.
if you want to, I mean, I'm all right to keep talking. I just don't know what to talk about.
What are we at, Malia? What's our time right now?
An hour and 5 minutes.
It's good whiskey.
I don't really have anything else to bring up. I'm trying to think. Oh, there's the other whiskey right there, Elijah Craig. That was the one I was drinking last time. I don't know why that? I just noticed that. That one's really good. Paul liked that one. Yeah. Do you have any plans for when Grandma? Because Grandma's trying to move out. She's gonna go on a road trip.
Oh, yeah,
What's
yeah,
your plans? Are you trying to get to Poland before that?
Yeah. I'm supposed to fly to Europe actually next month, but the European Union banned Americans from traveling there. So
Oh, really?
yeah,
For the rest of the year, or just
indefinitely until we get COVID-19 under control. Yeah.
Well, what do you think the solution to that is? To getting COVID-19 under control? Do you have any opinions on that?
I think people should wear masks. That's pretty much it. I got my mask.
Yeah, you got a heavy duty mask.
Yeah, I got it when those fires were happening, like 2 years ago, last year.
Oh, because you have asthma.
Yeah, so I bought a whole box of them, and then I still have some. So
It's like
I have 3 of them now. So
thinking ahead. I think we should have. They should have, and I hate saying this, but I think they should have forced us to go on lockdown when this first started for a month.
Yeah.
Let's everybody stay home. Everybody gets unemployment.
yeah, that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know
Maybe
people are saying
some essential stuff, like if you need groceries, but force you to order it online.
Yeah.
And then you pick it up at the store.
yeah.
I think we could have done better. I think looking back, it's always easier, right?
Yeah.
It's easy to blame Trump and say he didn't know what he was doing. Yeah, but
Well, it's not. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't even put the blame on Trump. Kind of, because he says some stuff that people will listen to, and so if he says that masks are stupid, or if he said, if he says something that goes against, like he has been, that goes against the scientific evidence, people are going to listen to that.
Yeah.
I would put the blame more on just
China.
no. I would just put the blame more on Americans themselves because China.
Well,
It's because we're so we're founded on the fact that we don't like people or telling us what to do,
Yeah.
and so because of that we're not going to listen to.
We're stubborn.
Yeah, I mean,
but I also think I honestly I kind of do agree with Trump that this sort of is China's fault because they did lie.
well, yeah,
The WHO organization lied for them.
yeah,
I think if we would have had proper knowledge of how it was actually affecting people, we
Yeah.
could have done a little bit better. I
Yeah.
don't think we would have been. I think we'd probably still be in the same predicament, unfortunately, because we are too stubborn and we don't want to go into lockdown.
because we're American.
Because we're American. Because freedom,
Yeah,
America. But I think it's needed. I honestly don't think it's too late. I think give us.
I don't think it's too late either. Yeah,
tell us 3 weeks. It's not a month, but 3 weeks. I think we can
and
make it then.
force it too. Like if
Yeah.
if you see somebody out and they're not out for a legitimate reason, you give them a ticket or something.
Yeah, you get a fine. You
Yeah.
get something. I don't know.
And all those people that are saying that masks can kill you, it's like, come on.
Who's saying that? People are saying that?
Yeah, people are saying they don't want to wear masks because there's more carbon dioxide in there.
Oh my god.
And
That's why I keep seeing those,
people with asthma can't breathe in a mask. I'm like, come on now.
I keep seeing those TikTok videos where people are like, they have a mask on and they're taking their oxygen and they're like, see, it's wrong. Wear a mask. It doesn't affect your
It doesn't. It
carbon
really
dioxide
doesn't.
things.
People will just use any excuse they want to justify their actions.
Well, and I think people just don't like that feeling of something constricting their
Yeah.
airflow, and that's fine. Yeah,
Yeah.
but if it's not about you, about other people.
Yeah.
If you're going to the grocery store, make it fast. Go in there, get your stuff, get out. You know, don't lounge around as much as you have to. That way it's, you know, you have it on for as little time as you need.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you're in your car and you're at home, you don't have to wear a mask. But go when you're going out and you're around people, wear that damn mask.
Or get somebody to go for you. You know, like
Yeah.
what is it called? Instacart, where you can just order what you need, and they'll go shop for you, and then.
Yeah, they do that. I think that we've used that a couple times at Walmart, and it worked pretty well.
Yeah.
You know, just take advantage of the opportunities that you have. People wear those goddamn masks.
Exactly.
I'm gonna come hunting for you now. No, I don't go out enough. Yeah, I think we should wrap this up. I think I don't have anything else. You got anything to ask him, Malia? Do you have any curious questions? You're always my.
I'm an open book.
He's an open book. We'll have you back on here again, you know, a couple months, weeks, days, maybe next week. I don't know.
Yeah.
Got to figure out what else to do.
I'm good for that. Yeah.
Yeah, I know you were. Yeah. Thank you, Joey. Appreciate you coming by, everybody.
Thank you.
I don't know who my next guest will be. I don't know when the next podcast will happen, but until then, we'll see you later.